solution because, as you'll quickly see, that's a huge opportunity. The great thing about it is the solution we're providing still works for the B2C opportunity that was pitched originally. So we've got twice the market, well, twice the areas to work in. So what's the problem we're talking about here? We're talking about taxis and how to pay for them. Now, everyone's going to say, well, that's sort of not really a problem. You can pay by cash, you can pay by credit card, you can use cab charge, you can do all of these things. But I'm pretty sure most of us who've been business owners, and I've run a few businesses over the years at various sizes, have got this situation where cab charge really isn't appropriate or useful a lot of the time. It sometimes is good and sometimes isn't. If you've got lots of people travelling around, giving them all credit cards isn't really a great solution because, you know, as a director of the company, I'm personally liable for it, and, you know, one of your staff goes a bit rogue with their Amex and all hell breaks loose. Handing out cash or reimbursing and reconciling all that stuff is a real pain. So what we don't want to do is, as business people, have to deal with God knows how much paperwork just to deal with people travelling. And whilst it's sort of cute to think of it like this, it's really more like this. As the business owner, it's an absolute nightmare. In my last role, I would have a monthly visit from the CFO getting very upset at me about how I wasn't keeping control of my travel budget, and a lot of it was taxis, and it's really hard to know until the end of the month, plus a week and a half, when you get the report and find out that half your staff have gone crazy on taxi fares and you don't know anything about it. So the point of this solution is to look at how are we going to solve this problem and make it easier for business owners and individuals to pay and manage their costs of taxis. Now there's a lot of players in this market, you think in terms of booking, but a lot of them are very disjointed, and some of them are booking in peer-to-peer, and the issue with that is it's cutting out the call centres and making life very difficult for the industry, and it's very disjointed, and it still doesn't solve the solution of a single mechanism for payment. So what we've come up with is GoHail, which is an iPhone app with a web and enterprise solution at the back end to provide a single way of controlling your payments. You can preload it or post-load it with payments as you go. So you can hand out let people use their mobile phones, and when they go to a taxi, pay for it. So the great thing about that, I forgot the music. So we've actually implemented the vast majority of this, and this is actually live. So what's happening is the company's preloaded the account. Any employee who's authorised walks around with their mobile phone, says, I want to go to taxi, orders it. The taxi comes with an authorisation code, shows it to the driver, which is shown up on their console, so they can validate that that number is true. So it says where we want to go, starts to write, goes to the location, says we've arrived, verifies the payment with the driver, and it's all logged into their system and ours, so it's reconciled. No money changes hands, no cash has been held, no credit cards, no reconciliation. It's all posted back into your accounting system and it just works. How big a market is this? There's 19,000 taxis in Australia generating roughly $11,000 a month, which equates to roughly $2.5 billion in revenue. About 10% of that is picked up as charges for fares. Only half of it is currently done through some sort of payment mechanism other than cash. So the great opportunity for us is to not only take some of the half of the market that isn't cash, but actually take quite a bit of the cash market, because a lot of that is individuals paying with their own money and then getting reimbursements later. So if you run the numbers out, to use cab charge as an example, which is about 40% of that, they're generating over $120 million a year in revenue just on charging and not touching cash at all, and that's not touching a lot of the small to medium businesses that don't use cab charge because they don't use it often enough or it's onerous. So the opportunity for us is enormous. Thank you.